everybody. Hello, agencies. Today, we are having agencies from very special countries because of the scope of the scholarships, British University Vietnam. And we all look forward to something really new, which is the market of studying in Vietnam. But now you can have a British degree in Vietnam already with a very wonderful price that you cannot imagine. So for now, I would really like to thank you, Mr. Matt Jensen, and he's the head, the international student recruitment of British University Vietnam. And we will for sure have a great webinar with you, and we look forward to your sharings and your offers to our agencies today.
As John said, I'm Matt, and I'm the head of international student recruitment at BUV. And we have 4 sections to present to you. So first of all, I'm going to introduce you to the university. And then George will speak for about 5 to 10 minutes about what it's like to be an international student here at BUV. And very interesting story, having started as a student in the UK, come here on an exchange and chosen to stay in Vietnam. But I will let George share the story with you. I've already given away a bit of a spoiler. And then I'll return. So, of course, all of you here, thank you for joining today. We know that you're agencies. The main purpose of this event today is to show you what BUV is about and hopefully really motivate you to want to work with us. So as well as presenting what a fantastic place BUV is to study, we want to show you as agents what we can offer you and hopefully why, and you'll all agree that you should, hopefully by the end of the webinar, why you should work with us. And then to close, we'll hold questions. So if it's anything about the student experience, George will try to answer. If not, then I'll also be here. And any technical questions about how we work with agencies that we haven't covered, please feel free to ask. So just briefly, a bit more about me. So as I said, I'm from the UK. I think people normally guess by this point when they hear the accent as well. I studied at Leeds University quite a long time ago now. So I studied economics and mathematics there. And since I graduated, I devoted my whole career really to higher education. So I worked in London for more than 8 years. And before BUV, I was in Hungary, in Budapest. So I've always done student recruitment, admissions, and marketing. So why Vietnam? Well, it's an extremely affordable destination. It's very flexible. So we offer a very, very easy entry visa process and the opportunity to bring dependents as well. Students can also work during studies. So it's a fantastic opportunity. You certainly won't get unlimited working hours in the UK. I know that for sure. I think George will talk more as well about this, but it's such an incredibly developing economy. Jones, of course, you know this as well. So we just have the scale of development in Vietnam incredible. So for the last 10 years, you'll see GDP growing by more than 6% a year. The scale of development in the infrastructure, you can see new buildings, skyscrapers, coffee shops, restaurants. You can see them being built all the time. So it's incredible for me as somebody who's only been here since September to just see how much is changing all the time. And of course, this is a bit of a cliche, but Vietnam is this bridge between East and West. So I don't want to claim to be an expert on this subject. Jones, who would know more about it than me, but geopolitically, Vietnam is very, very well placed between China and the West. Of course, with Trump now being in power in the US, that adds a whole different dimension to geopolitics, and we won't go into that today. But Vietnam, of course, is a socialist country, but inviting a lot of foreign direct investment from China, for example, but also you'll find a lot of Japanese and Korean companies here. So really, it's a really, really good point in the world where Eastern businesses can connect with the West. So that's one of the reasons that we're seeing Vietnam as such a hot place to invest in. And of course, it therefore makes sense to study here and be a part of that future as well. So why BUV? A little bit of a history first. So British University of Vietnam has been going for around 15 years, but we moved to a site called Eco Park not so long ago, around 2018, I believe. Eco Park is on the outskirts of Hanoi. So what we offer is a very secure, very safe campus environment. Downtown Hanoi is where all the action is. So, but if the students want to experience the rich Vietnamese culture, and I know that George takes advantage of going to downtown Hanoi quite often, then that's where you go for that. But for Eco Park, it's very safe and green, much calmer than downtown Hanoi, and it's a busy city, Hanoi, with more than 8 million people. 20 million people in the metropolitan area. So excitement, a lot of hustle and bustle. So I think that Eco Park is a really good place to study. And as I said, it's the best of both worlds because you can access Hanoi in 45 minutes by taxi or by bike, which of course is really popular in Vietnam. But then you've got that security and that space to think. BUV offers 100% British degrees, so everything we offer is a franchise UK degree. So it means that we do award BUV qualifications as well, so that has some popularity in the local market. But really, what we're trying to do is offer degrees from our UK partners. So our students will get a UK degree, but they'll study here in Vietnam for a much lower price. It's a much more accessible way to get to UK higher education. And of course, then there's all kinds of opportunities. So the opposite of what George has done, our students can do a 2+1. So maybe a student from India starts here at BUV, but they transfer to do a final year in the UK, or they start and they do their full bachelor's here and they choose to do a master's in the UK or Australia or US. But the important point is the diploma that we offer will be 100% a UK qualification. So of course it's recognized worldwide. All their teaching takes place at our campus in Eco Park, and our campus now can accommodate 5,000 students. So we just completed what we call the phase 2 of the campus. And our faculty are 100% internationally qualified. So we have around 20–30% Vietnamese teaching staff, but everybody, including our Vietnamese teaching staff, are internationally qualified. And we're very proud of our diversity as well, certainly in our teaching staff. BUV has 3 different schools. So we have business, which includes hospitality and tourism. We have computing, and I'll probably not show you all the programs today, but of course, if we decide to work together, then we give you full training and show you the full portfolio. And also we have communications and creative subject areas as well. And I was talking about the UK degrees. You can see on this screen along the bottom, you can see the partner universities that we work with. So we have 5 different partners. And the major that the student study determines who the awarding body or who the partner would be. For business, we offer programs from both University of London, LSE, which is, for me, it's just incredible that students could come here and study in Vietnam and get an LSE certificate. For me, coming from the UK, I can't tell you how good the reputation of LSE is. Top 50 in the world, but extremely hard to get into if you apply directly to LSE. So why not instead come to BUV and study for 40% of the tuition fee and a much lower living cost and a much more reasonable entry requirements than it would be applying directly to LSE. So yeah, we have business programs from University of London, LSE, but also Staffordshire. So the LSE program is about $16,000 per year, whereas the Staffordshire program is about $12,000 per year. And then computing, we have a mixture of Staffordshire and Stirling. So Stirling is a Scottish university, top 500 in the world in QS. And then also Arts University and Bournemouth University. So Bournemouth, very strong on the hospitality tourism programs. Also ASC, SBA accredited business school. And Arts University Bournemouth, you'll see some of our creative programs there, and also from Staffordshire we have some creative programs. Yeah, I talked a bit about the tuition fees already. So generally, the top end is the LSE, University of London. So those fees are around $16,000 per year. Of course, everything is 3 years because it's UK qualification. And our other programs range from 12 to $14,000 per year. And also living costs are very, very affordable to study here in Vietnam and in Eco Park. You can see here, this is actually the accommodation. I'll let George talk about accommodation as well. But I think it's incredible the facility, the accommodation that our students have access to. This something like you can see on the screen is available for $250 to $350 per month, and there's options for a single room, studio, or to share with 1 or 2 other people. So there's different options available. That is certainly not what my accommodation looked like at the University of Leeds. So it's five-star quality. And of course, we also offer a bus service to and from the campus. So in Eco Park, where the accommodation is, it is possible to walk. In Vietnam, it's very hot and humid in the summer. So it's actually the winter time where it's okay-ish to walk, but in summer, far too humid. So generally the bus service is good. But as I mentioned, also possible to get a bike to campus. Now, scholarships as well. So this is something really important, something that's new. So I think George won't even know about this. But now we're offering scholarships to international students that would come to study at BUV starting in autumn. So the first thing to say is all international students can have a scholarship now. So anybody, and of course we have for our Vietnamese students as well. But anybody that's not Vietnamese, they can have a guaranteed 25% tuition fee discount. All they need to do is apply before 30th of June. And there's a small application process, like a motivation letter. As I said, we would give more training about this if we work together. For students from the neighboring countries, so anywhere in the ASEAN region, so that includes Cambodia, Laos, Malaysia, Thailand, etc. And from the Indian subcontinent, so India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and even wider reaching, we even offer opportunities to have a 100 and a 50% discount as well. So the way it works is we have approximately 1/3 allocation at 100, 50%, 25% levels. We ask everybody to apply before 30th of June. We ask them to send a 400-word motivation letter, and then we make an assessment. It's a qualitative assessment, and we award the scholarships to who we think are the most deserving candidates based on that. So I'm one of the key decision makers. I make the recommendation to our dean and to our deputy vice chancellor, and then we decide who to award the scholarships to. Okay, so I think you've already heard about the tuition fees, but with the scholarships on top, we're really making British education very, very accessible. Yeah, so already it's much, much cheaper than you're going to find in the UK. But we're talking here about potentially free tuition or 50% discounted tuition. So really it's an incredible opportunity for all of you to think about. If there's only 2 things that you will remember from my section today, this is certainly one of the 2 that I would like you to remember. And the second point will be about your rates as well, that we discuss later. So that's it from me for the moment. And now I'm going to hand to George to talk about being an international student at BUV. Over to you, George.
Welcome.
Hello,
welcome,
everyone.
George.
Thank you. Okay, so a little bit of an introduction from me. So yeah, I'm George. I'm currently studying at BUV as a 3rd-year student for the Computer Games Design and Programming program offered from Staffordshire University. Some background about me is that I was working out of school for a while in the UK. I worked for a few different companies, including a manager at the government department. You can see there. I decided I wanted to pursue something that I was more passionate about as a career, which led me to Staffordshire University, where I started the Games Design and Programming course. my experience in my first year there was incredible. You know, I experienced the quality of the degree, and it is exceptional. And in fact, I would personally say it's the best games degree that is offered in Europe, especially in England as well. It's awarded every year with different awards, so it's great. So BUV actually offered a cultural exchange program for the partnering uni staffs, which allowed me to come visit Vietnam for a month at the end of my first year. That visit involved a few different things, some traveling, some activities, some time at BUV as well. I really enjoyed it, if you can't tell, because I decided that I was going to exchange for my second year. So I did do that. I exchanged my second year, continued to have a great experience, and decided to transfer here and stay until I graduated. So to understand the reasons why I decided to stay for so long, I can go through some of my experiences in Vietnam. Okay, so Vietnam's quite famous for certain things, like food is incredible here. The culture, particularly in Hanoi, is considered the cultural capital of Vietnam. So there's so much to experience in Hanoi, as well as traveling to other areas nearby. So in northern Vietnam, there's many UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and you can go see. There's one of the 7 natural wonders of the world is here. So there's so much traveling you can do without even having to really go too far. So I've been doing that a little bit while I've been here. Another great thing about Vietnamese people is they're very quick to make friends, even if somebody is different, like they come from another country. So I've made many friends here, both at BUV and just in general in Hanoi and in the surrounding areas. So it's been a really incredible experience. Specifically at BUV, so I've joined some societies, including like the basketball society and things like that, which every society that I've joined has been incredibly welcoming. As one of the few international students in those societies, I was welcomed like without any consideration of me not speaking Vietnamese, anything like that. They don't care. They were very welcoming, and allowed me to be a full member of those societies. There's a lot of events that happen at BUV. So BUV runs their own events, whether it's like a big Christmas party or like smaller events that are just a small one-off. Also, students are allowed to run events on site too. So when you go to university, it's not going to be the same thing every day. There's usually something going on that you can go check out. So it's really fun. The support from the university is incredible too. So specifically as an international student, I have support from the university, sorting out visas, things like that, as well as like getting settled in and things. But the university, like to all students, offers academic support through like additional tutorials, getting help from students that are like above you and like in higher years that can help you out. And they have careers advisors, everything like that you would expect. So the support is incredible as well. Yeah, so I would say like overall the experience of the degree and the teaching and everything has been really high quality. It's been great to be able to study the degree that I started with in the UK. I think Matt said that this is quite a surprise for him as well, which is being able to get a UK degree is a very expensive thing in the UK, just down to the cost of the tuition and the living fees in the UK. Like just living costs there are a lot higher. So being able to do that with the same quality of education here, with the same degree, which is going to be perceived in the same way, but at the lower living costs and things like that is incredible, really. And particularly for people who already live in Asia and don't have to travel to and from, it's like a very big benefit, much more accessible, I'd say as well. So yeah. Oh, you can see the basketball team picture here. So yeah, I'd just say overall, my experience at BUV and in Vietnam has been amazing. I've come to learn a lot about Vietnamese culture. I felt really valued as a member of the students, as well as just like in society in general here. It's really great, and it's definitely preparing me for my career. So yeah, that would be my summary.
Thank you, George.
so
Fantastic.
much. That's
Thank you.
fantastic sharing. That's really fantastic to have you here with us today. So I have a short question. So, what were your first impression of Vietnam when you first came, and how did it change over time?
Okay, my first impression when I got to Vietnam, which was headed to the old quarter actually,
Okay.
in Vietnam, the busiest, bit loudest part of Hanoi, I would say, potentially a little bit overwhelming. Yeah, hearing the new language that I'd not heard before, not knowing where anything was, it was a little bit of a shock. But in the same vein, the surprise of the way that like people act here in terms of like treating foreigners with a lot of respect, a little bit different in the UK. It was just amazing, very good surprise. But as I've gotten used to hearing the language and things like that, and knowing my way around, it's become a lot more comfortable. I think Matt mentioned like the accessibility of Hanoi from Echo Park is amazing. So depending on whether or not you're a city person or a more nature person, there's those options. So it's a really nice balance. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy to hear from you. And in that area of British University City, Vietnam at Eco Park is just wonderful because that is the place where all the most biggest events, biggest concerts of Vietnam are there. Maybe you know because you've been there for some time. So we had very big concerts there, and everybody from the whole country is like gathering there, and it's very beautiful. And so in some corners, it looks actually a little bit like Europe, but more colorful. So yeah, I agree with you. So thank you so much, George, for your sharing. I wish you a great time studying there at British University, Vietnam.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, George. Thanks, Jones. Really happy that we invited George. That was much better than I could have presented to the staff members. I think it's always great to hear from a student, and you spoke really well, George. So thank you. Yeah, we'll invite George back for questions later. So just a couple more slides for me before we go to the questions. This one is, I said that there's two pieces of information that I really hope the audience will retain today. So the first one was scholarships. That's what we're offering to the students. The second one is the terms of business, and that's the part that we're offering to you. So in Vietnam, most of our local students will start on a pre-university program. So we have two options. We have a foundation program and a pathway program. The pathway is 6 weeks and the foundation is a full year. So this is something like a UK level 3. For any students that don't have A-levels, IB diploma, and they're from a country with 12 years of education, then they start on this. In India, it will be for students that would have lower than 65% in their HSC. So they would start on their pre-university program rather than go straight on to a bachelor degree. So for anyone that starts on that, then the commission is 20% of the tuition fee that's paid to the agency. The 1-year program, the International Foundation program, the fee is $9,000 and for the 6-week pathway, it's around $4,000. We also have, for bachelors, we also pay commission, of course. So for year 1 of bachelors, you can see it's a starting rate of 20% for 1 to 4 students, and it's the performance related. So we award you with more commission based on the number of students that you recruit. So 5 to 9, 25%, 10 to 14, 30%, and more than 15, we actually giving 35% of the year 1 tuition fee to you, the agent. Of course, it is net commission as well. So this is where you have to also consider the scholarships that we've discussed earlier. So if we're giving a 100% scholarship to a student, it doesn't matter what the commission rate is. So you don't get commission if we're giving 100% of the tuition fee away. So generally, the 100% scholarships are available to students that come from our partner schools. We will give them to students that really are in financial need of them. In the scholarship application, there is no financial testing. We're not asking them to provide bank statements or tell us about their family's financial situations. So this is where we see the opportunity to collaborate with you, the agency, and for you to make your recommendations to us. I should say that it is recommendation rather than a final decision. Of course, we would decide as a university, but we are open to your recommendations. And we really try to ensure that the top level scholarships are going to those people that most need. Will reiterate the scholarships. Perhaps I haven't stated clearly enough. The scholarships are not just going to go to students with the top GPA and the top grades. Yeah, so of course we want brilliant international students to come and study at BUV. I think every university in the world wants that. But we want people that are curious about Vietnam, just as George has been. People that are prepared to think a bit differently. You're all here today because you're prepared to consider Vietnam as an alternative study destination. And I think that you're smart to do that because UK, the visa situation is not good. It's not a friendly place to study. Things are not looking good in Australia and Canada. And without getting political, I've already mentioned Trump in the US. So I'm not sure that that's a place that I would personally want to visit right now. So I don't know how the majority of international students feel. So instead, yeah, we're looking for open-minded partners who can promote this. We're looking for open-minded students and people that will take a bit of a risk and say, it doesn't matter that my friends are going to Singapore or they're going to Australia or UK. I'm prepared to go to Vietnam and do something a bit different. So this is what we're offering, and we are offering the scholarships and the commission to try to make this viable for you and also for the students. Yeah, and I hope you've heard from George that it will be a very rewarding experience for any students that do choose BUV. Anyway, that was a bit off topic, but yeah, you can see the rates here. Of course, for year 2 as well, we're paying a 10% commission, so that's paid in one instalment, whereas the year 1 commission is one instalment each semester. And for any students that graduate from a bachelor's and stay on to do a master's at BUV, then we also pay a 10% fixed commission. So how you can work with us? Well, first of all, we would arrange a follow-up meeting after this. So, of course, I'll share my contact details with you, but I think Net24 will also help you to connect with us. We have a short form that we ask you to fill in. If you have the Net24 accreditation, which I believe you do if you're here today, then we don't have any reference requirement at all. So we normally ask for a reference from a QS top 1000 university. But if you work with Net24, that's waived. So all we need is this completed form, the company and the company registration certificate, as well as proof that you're Net24 certified. And yeah, after the meeting and the paperwork, then we simply sign the contracts digitally and we can start working together. Of course, we would agree some kind of marketing plan. So for those of you wanting us to do offline marketing, of course, we would discuss how we would ask you for your projections, your student recruitment projections. But of course, we would have a discussion about what BUV would need to do to help you fulfill those goals. And then that's pretty much it. So after the contract is signed, you'll have an account manager. At the moment, that's me, because we're building a new team here, but I am also hiring now for a business-to-business specialist who could be the account manager in the future, but in the short term, it's me. And then we'll do a training session with your staff, which will cover what we've been through today, but we go into more detail about the programs that we offer and the various entry requirements. So it's really for your counsellors who will be frontline meeting with prospective students and family. We give them the full training. Yeah, entry requirements as well. Maybe I just said that. Yeah, so this is everything that George and I wanted to share with you. Once again, here's my contact details. So thank you for being with us today. I really look forward to connecting with many of you and hopefully working together in the future. So do add me on LinkedIn and get in touch, and we can discuss the next steps.
So thank you so much, Matt and George. You guys are amazing in presenting British University Vietnam, and I wish you a great day and a great semester ahead of you.
Thanks so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you, Jones. Thanks everyone for today.